Hey guys, welcome back to Wowzers. I feel like I've been haunted for years, and I feel like it's still ongoing, but now as I'm getting older and it's still going on, I feel much more comfortable than I did at the beginning. Let's start off. So there was a time in my life where I did come face to face with a ghost. Okay? Face to face with the ghost. I am a witness of how they look and how it feels to be in the same room with the ghost. When I was about 15 years old, I was in my room. Okay, so the day before this happened, my sister and my brother had told us we had barely moved into this house. Okay, so we were there, like in this house. It was big, okay? And we lied to the landlord though. We lied that it was only 5 of us in total. So he didn't know that my little sister and my little brother existed and that they were living in this house too. So he didn't know that. So then when we first moved in, my little brother and my little sister were in our new room. They were like, hey, we're gonna hide. Me and Pablo are gonna hide because we just saw his foot walk, the guy's foot walking by. He's probably checking who lives here for sure. So then they freak out and they go hide in the closets while we go around and check and go talk to him. As we look around, we realize like, what the there's no one. There's no one around. What do you mean? And we go get them. We're like, hey, there's no one. The landlord isn't here. And they're like, no, me and Pablo just saw the feet. We just saw him walk through the window. And we're like, no, seriously, there's no one. So they were just shocked. They were like, okay, so did that not happen? So then, like, I feel like a week later, not a day later, I feel like a week later, I'm there chilling in my room, you know, just texting, watching The Hills. You guys know what The Hills is, that show, or the reality show, Lauren Conrad, you know. Okay, well, anyways, I was in the room just texting my friend, you know, and while I'm texting, I see like this white thing, but what I assumed it was a spider web just coming down. Because when you're texting, you're paying attention, but you can still clearly see, and I see like something coming down like that, and I think it's a spider web. So I say, stupid spider web. And I'm like, and when I go like this, I'm like, what the hell? It doesn't. And like, next thing you know, I put my phone down. You know, I'm laying down, I put my phone down, and I'm like, you know, because it's a face. It's a man's face. I still remember to this day this man's face to face with me. And then the room was windy, like it was windy and it was super, super cold. And I was like, no, oh my God. And I cover myself and I'm like, ah! And I look down again because I'm like, no, maybe it's just my imagination. I look down, and when I look down, this face goes like this, you know, like, and then whoosh, flies out right through the window. It flew out real quick. Dude, like, even to this day, I still get chills. Like, honestly, like, to this day, I'm like, what the I came face to face with the ghost. And yeah, so I get up. No, I stay in my bed because I'm too freaked out. And I'm like, Maribel, Pablo, for like minutes. None of them hear me because this house is big. So of course they weren't gonna hear me. And I was under the blanket. And then finally one of them comes in. And I was like, dude, I just saw a ghost. I checked the window. It's completely shut. The window was huge and it was shut. It really did happen. How else would there be this much wind in the room? How else? And like, why did it look like that? Like, I don't know. I still remember the face and how it flew out. And I don't know, that was the creepiest thing. But ghosts do exist. For those of you who think they don't, they do exist, because I came face to face with one. Okay, so let's see. So then we moved out of Marietta, that house. We lost everything, okay? So let's just say that we ended up moving here back in San Diego County, and we end up living with my uncles and all that stuff. There's just a lot that goes on, but next thing you know, I move in with my boyfriend. Okay? So I moved in with my boyfriend when I was 16. No, I was 17. So while I was at his house, that's when my sleep paralysis started. But the sleep paralysis, dude, like, I don't know. Call it sleep paralysis or whatever, but I feel like there's some truth to what we see and what we feel while we're in that sleep paralysis. I was sleeping with my mother-in-law one night. No, not one night. One day, one morning. Because my husband went to work. No, we were young, so he was still in school. So my husband goes to school. Weird, I know. But he goes to school. I end up staying with my mother-in-law, and I take another nap with her in her room. I didn't want to stay in our room because it was kind of creepy. So while I'm sleeping there, I don't know, I just feel something go like, and like go right in through my stomach, and like I start hearing like, and I start seeing in my dreams like demons, and I start feeling my stomach go like something's in there, you know, like demons are taking over my stomach. I'm like, dude, what the heck? So then I wake up and I feel like someone's like choking me, you know, and I'm like, and I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. To my suegra, my mother-in-law, I'm like, finally I wake up. And when I wake up, guys, when I wake up, my mother-in-law isn't even next to me. So I'm like, what the f***? I just saw you right next to me. How are you not there? She was already up and she was cooking. The next episode, my husband leaves again to school. I'm in the room by myself. We have this big pit bull, and he's there sleeping with me on the ground, and I'm just there. And then again, I feel like slowly someone was pulling me. Like, let's say this is me. I feel like someone was slowly going like, shh, 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 pulling me from my feet. Normally with the sleep paralysis thing, you just can't breathe, I feel. But I felt someone pulling the out of me on the bed, and I'm like, oh my god, leave me alone. So I was just like, you know, like I grabbed myself and I'm like, go back to bed, and I'm like, dude, something just grabbed me. Something just pulled my leg and was pulling me slowly. That's the reason why I woke up. So then I'm like this, you know, I look around and I feel again like I'm getting choked. I'm like, I can't breathe. And like next thing you know, I see like a black thing just going like this. Just going like that the whole time right next to me. And I'm like, oh my god, it's next to me, it's next to me. It was so creepy. But they say it's sleep paralysis. At the time, I didn't know that it was sleep paralysis. So of course I was like freaked out. I just think to myself like, oh my god, I'm being haunted. I have to leave. What I was believing was that I was being haunted because I kept walking over by a cemetery. There's this church in Paula that has a cemetery like in the church. It's like a little small cemetery. And you know, I was always the one to be like, I'm not scared of this, I'm not scared of nothing. So I would always just walk right by it. I would look around and just look at everything and just be there in the cemetery while I'm waiting for my bus. So I was just there like looking around the cemetery. So then when all this was occurring and I was getting pulled and all that stuff, I initially thought it was an attachment to that. I was like, oh, maybe then I'm just being haunted for walking on their graves. Not on their graves, but around their graves, in this graveyard that has nothing to do with me. But I don't know what it really was. It was maybe just sleep paralysis, like they say. So my suegra's like, you know what, maybe you are being haunted. You have a history of playing the Ouija board. Maybe that's why you're being haunted. Drink the water that you get from church. I forgot what you call it in English. She had gallons of it, so she's like, you know what, just drink a glass of it. And I'm like, no, I'm scared. What if like the demon comes out of me? Like, I don't know, I was scared. Because there had been so many stuff going on with me, the church ended up doing something with me. They ended up bringing like a medium lady or whatever you call them, and she was doing like prayers for me. I don't want to call it an exorcism because there was no father in there. It was just a whole bunch of like church people praying for us, and this medium psychic lady, I don't know what she was. She spoke in tongues, and all her people, her crew, spoke in tongues. You know, that devil language. That whole experience was weird. While she was praying to us, she started off with my mother-in-law. I don't know what she said to her. Then she started with my husband, and she told us, do not open your eyes at any time, because like if there is something bad, this is gonna go to you, blah blah blah. So then she ends up coming to me, and while she comes to me, I hear like that language, tongues, like I can clearly hear them in the back just going like, whatever. And meanwhile she's telling me, I feel something, and I know you've suffered. I feel like something very negative has been following you since you were a young child, a very, very little girl. It's been following you since. Okay, and then she just kept praying for me. But that honestly didn't leave me a lot of closure, because that's all she said to me. Did you take her off of me? Him off of me? Like, who was it? What is it? Did you get rid of him? How are you just gonna tell me like, oh, I feel something's been following you since you were a child, and then that's all you hear from them? Like, what the heck is she talking about? So anyways, once everything's done, and I go back to like the people that ended up calling this woman for us. She came all the way from, I think, Santa Ana. So the people that called her ended up telling me, I don't know if you knew, but Jose, your husband, ended up speaking the tongues language. He was speaking the language, so that is the reason why they started speaking the language, because they were attacking the little demon that went and jumped onto Jose. So I was just like, what just happened? What just happened? He spoke tongues? That is creepy. From his memory, he says he doesn't remember speaking it, and he doesn't remember what happened right there and then. He just went unconscious, I believe. But it's crazy to me that he was speaking that language, and these people were like attacking the whatever was in him. Of course, I didn't know because I couldn't open my eyes. I was just there like this, holding on to my suegra, because my suegra was just sitting. They sat her down, and she was just there sitting calmly. So I was just holding her, and while they're doing their thing, finally they're like, okay, you guys can open your eyes. And I'm like, okay, thank you, thank you so much. Like, I feel a little bit better. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. If you loved my video, please thumbs up, like that video. If you guys have any questions or need to hear something from me, you guys go ahead and comment down below. But yes, if you guys like my video, like it, share it, tell all your friends about me, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. This is Wowzers.